Solve number 3. Or not 3, why did I say 3? This is like 6. Ooh, nice. $13.24, what? That's PB. Holy heck. Bro, that was so crazy. That was lucky as heck, dude. 13.24, 13.242 to be completely precise. That was crazy. Yo. Hey YouTube, so what you just saw was my Master Pyraminx PB that I actually got on stream yesterday. So I've been practicing a lot of Master Pyraminx recently. I've actually done 1,000 solves in the past 3 weeks or so, and it's a super fun unofficial event that I'd really recommend checking out. Anyway, I'm going to be reconstructing my PB. The scramble's been on screen for a while now, so you can follow along with that if you have a Master Pyraminx of your own. This is a Chi Master Pyraminx, which you can check out at the link in the description at Cube Depot USA. Thanks to them for sponsoring me. But anyway, let's get into it. So the method I personally use is one that I kind of developed on my own and kind of based on Harsha Peladugu's method for Master Pyraminx. And I basically start out by solving the Pyraminx edges. So by that I mean the center edges, the ones between these wing pieces, just these center edges. And you can solve them almost exactly like a Pyraminx. There are 6 edges, and so you can solve them like the 6 edges on a Pyraminx without worrying about centers. So this orientation is with the green on front and the blue on the bottom. And basically my thought process was, okay, we have this green and yellow edge here, which belongs up here. So we could get that here with an L. And then we have this green-red edge and this green-blue edge. So the green-blue edge can be brought down into this position with an R prime. And if we do our L move first, it'll actually bring the green-red edge down here, which we could then bring into this position with a B move. And then an R prime will actually solve both edges. So we'll have the entire first layer of edges complete on green. And so I did that by doing this. I started with the 2 tips, and then I did a U move, because even though the tips themselves and the centers don't actually matter for this step, it is usually helpful to solve them during this step, and I can explain why maybe in a future tutorial. But anyway, then I did that L move, and then a B, and then an R prime, like that. And we have our 3 edges solved just like that. And so then I rotated like this to solve our last layer edges, which would be this, this, and this. But they were already solved, so that was lucky. Next, I rotated this way because I saw that this tip and center were not solved yet, and I could solve them with an R prime, and that would actually also solve a wing. And so for reference, the method I use normally after solving these Pyraminx edges, I would have to solve these centers as well. So the yellow, blue, red, and green centers here. And there are 4 possible cases you can have with that. One of those cases is solved, and we got lucky, and we got a solved case, so the centers were done. And from there I just solved the 12 wings, which are these edges around our Pyraminx edges that we previously solved. And so like I said, one was already solved, so I got that one done. And this is a very intuitive step. It's mostly just doing sort of F2L type insertions like you would see on a 3x3 or even a Pyraminx. And so next I solved this wing by putting it in the front like this. And that was done. The next thing I saw was this green and blue wing, which belongs down here, and so I rotated and I inserted it like this. And then I saw this green and blue wing, which you can insert just like this. So now these 2 are done. And so normally my goal when solving the wings is to solve the bottom layer first and try to solve as many of the middle and top layer wings as I can while I do that. So the next thing I saw was this wing, which is the green and yellow one. I rotated and I noticed that when I put this in, I can actually solve this wing as well. And that'll just happen automatically if I put it in this way. Because you can see this is the blue and yellow wing. And so while putting this wing in, you basically hide this one, put our green and yellow wing in, and then bring it back down, and it's solved. Finally, this was where some luck came in. I was actually able to solve this wing and the final 2 middle layer wings in one sequence. So I was able to do this. Just like that. And that was very lucky. It won't always happen like that, but it just so happens that all the middle layer wings were in the right place. And so I was able to just put this one in, as usual. And boom, many things are solved. So finally we have 3 wings left all on the top layer, and they've actually been chilling up here for most of the solve. And I had some bad recognition here because I didn't expect to have that middle layer skip, so I actually did a rotation, which is totally unnecessary from this position. And then I realized what was going on top, and I did a soon to solve the wings. So there's a better way I could have done this, but in the moment I was under pressure, and so I just solved it like this. And then we had a final AUF. But the better way I could have done this is by actually doing L moves and doing it like this, which is much more finger trick friendly. The way I actually did it is pretty bad because I was doing R moves and U moves, which require a lot of regrips and sort of awkward turning, like that. But it's way better to just do L and U moves because there are no regrips at all. So that's what I would do in the future, but unfortunately I was under a lot of pressure and didn't quite see that. Anyway, we had an AUF, and that's it. That was a 13.242 second master pyramid solve, my current PB, and I got it on stream, which is really awesome. If you're curious about the specifics of my method, I'd be happy to make a tutorial at some point in the future. Just let me know if that's something you want to see. And if you want to master pyraminx of your own, I'll leave a link in the description to CubeDepotUSA.com, and you can save 5% on your entire order with the discount code DGCubes at checkout. Anyway, that's about it for this one. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on my next video.